Now, I study successful people, and the one thing I've learned is that the most successful people do not rise to the level of their hopes or aspirations, but they perform to the level of their preparation. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 7 steps so that you can map out your future and be the rock star that you want to be. You can map out your future and you can be prepared for opportunities that you're currently missing. You can map out your future and you can tap into your intuition. And finally, you can map out your future and show up confident and competent to crush it. All right, so the very first step is to prepare to prepare. In fact, you're going to get your stuff ready so that you're ready to launch into what I call the 90 minutes of preparation of your week. Now, I call it the Sunday System for Success because I personally do it on Sundays most of the time. But some people do it on Saturdays and some people do it on Fridays. The idea is that you do it before Monday, not Monday morning. You need time to visualize, to marinate, to think about, to resource, to kick the can, to get started. Typically, I do it on a Sunday afternoon. That's what works for me. It's 90 minutes. I'm going to walk you through each step, but the preparation part is simply this, is you're going to need a journal or an agenda like I have. This is a 3-in-1 planner. I'll tell you more about it later that I use, and it has all of the weeks, my goals, and my notes from my audit, which I'll tell you about also. I also bring my laptop with me so that I can look at my Google Calendar and I can cross-pollinate the two. And sometimes I will send an email off to kick a conversation or a task to my personal assistant or somebody that I want to start getting started in the process of a goal I have for that week. Perhaps to schedule something or maybe just to get it off the chest, off the agenda right away. So number 1 is get prepared, just have everything together. And by the way, after you do this a few times, that part will become automatic. All right, so this part is really simple. I call it audit it. In other words, reflect and review. If you think again about a sports team, what do they do after the game on Sunday? If you're a football team, is on Monday, they go over the film. And they look simply at what worked, what didn't work, and how can you improve upon it or make it a better or adjust. And that's what we're going to do in this process. Is you're going to flip through your agenda pages, you're going to look at your Google Calendar, you're going to reflect on the appointments you had, and you're going to write down and capture the things that you did well. Kind of like a little pat on the back and attaboy, right? Like you're rewarding yourself and you're ingraining in your unconscious mind the behaviors that you want to replicate. How many times have you whipped through a day or a week and go, oh my God, it just like flew by, but without doing an audit or reflecting, you don't even really remember what happened. Some people can't even explain how to be successful because they never take the time to breathe and look at how they showed up. So in this process, we're going to be professionals. We're going to look back on our week, on our day, on our appointments, and we're going to ask ourselves pointed questions. What did I do great? What did I learn? What wasn't perfect? How could I be better? What can I improve? What will I do next time? So you can ask any questions that is in the vein of learning. Now, there's a very important characteristic here, and it's not about what most people do and what most of us want to do, which is to go direct to what did I do wrong? How do I make it better? I should have done this. I should have done that. That part's easy. That's automatic. Your brain will serve that up for you. What we want to do is we want you to have fun. We want you to, write down the things where you're like, oh my God, I was really great in that client presentation. I used their name. I made eye contact, and really pump yourself up because that's going to draw you to do the Sunday System for Success. Conversely, if you show up there and all you do is beat yourself up, eventually Sunday's going to come. It's not going to be your favorite day anymore. You're going to go like, oh no, I don't want to go there. It was a bad week. I should have invested in this stock. I didn't work out the way I wanted to. I felt I was lazy, and it's going to all collapse on you. It's one of the reasons that people don't do this because they don't make it fun and they don't make it rewarding. So let me underscore this. Let me underline this. It's really important that you go in and you really talk yourself up good and you celebrate the parts that are working so you can repeat them. Now, sometimes what I do is I will make some notes when I go through this part, and then I'm going to say, you know what, I need to ask my mentor, my coach, or whatever, some input on this area because I don't have a new perspective, or I don't have a new way, or I can't think of one that I think is better. So you make some notes, and then you make that part of your to-do list during the week is to get some feedback on how to run a meeting better, or better hiring process, or how to exercise more, or change your diet, or whatever the case may be. But this is like the research part. You are literally, what's an audit? Is you're looking at what works and what's out of place, what's missing. And that's the process here. By the way, when you do it properly, it's a lot of fun. You know why? Because you are creating a plan for progress. And who likes progress? Human beings. Are you one? Well, then you like this. You like progress, and this is a plan for progress. So you're going to love it if you do it properly. Step number 2, audit it. Just envision it. How often do you close your eyes and visualize the result that you want in your life? You know, there's some golfers that will, before each shot, close their eyes and visualize the shot. There's other people that will sit on the bench, an athlete, and will sit there for 5 or 10 minutes and visualize the entire play of the game in their mind's eye. First, we create it in our mind's eye, and then we create it in reality. If you spend no time visualizing the things that are going to happen in your life, you come up unrehearsed. Does that make sense? Would a great actor not rehearse a role and expect to wing it and do great? No, they wouldn't. So in the third part, what I do is I take my journal and I look at all of my goals. I have one page called a life plan, and you can look at that life plan and you can see that there are 8 areas of your life, and you can focus on each one individually. Take your health and vitality as an example and go, what do I want to create? What do I want to experience? And then the answers are going to come up, and you go, you know what? I want to create badass workouts this week. I've got 3 appointments with my trainer. It's going to be epic. And I'm also going to go to yoga once this week because I want to really work on my flexibility. And I also want to hydrate. And I want to eat some smaller. It's going to come to you as you marinate and you visualize some smaller portions. I want to knock off a couple more pounds. And you start to get excited in that one garden of your life because you start to focus on it. And you ask these questions of what you want to create, experience, who you want to interact with. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And you work your way through each one of those goals on that document. And before you know it, you're going to start writing down, just kind of capturing all these things and throwing it down on a piece of paper so that you can then put it together in a sequence and an order that's going to allow you to be efficient and effective. In this section, you want to envision the things you want to create so you can start to put them into your calendar and go out and make them happen. Now, what I like to do is I like to also look at the things that I not only want to create, but the things that fell through the cracks in the last week. So I will dump them personally all on one page. I call it a mind map. And I just have a circle in the middle. And then I draw out 8 lines using the cheat sheet that we provide you in our planner. And then you look at each of the 8 categories and you start putting together the things that work. So for instance, you might have something in the area of exercise and nutrition, but you could also have something around going shopping for dry cleaning, and you could match the 2. So as an example, you're going to go pick up your dry cleaning, you're going to get the vegetables, and you're going to go and pick up a sleeve of golf balls because you need some for your golf game. So the group it part is all about looking at everything that you want to create, everything that didn't get completed in the last week, mashing them together in an efficient and effective way. We want you to become efficient and effective by simply grouping things that make sense. And guess what? The more you do it, the better you get. So the first time, you might suck. You're like, oh, I don't know. Oh, and then you're going to get to your audit portion on Sunday and you go, oh my God, silly me. I could have gone shopping, picked that up, and got the dry cleaning all together. Guess what? Next week, you'll be that much better. You do it week in and week out, and it will start to become automatic. It'll start to become natural. So you're going to start to see the nuances and the things that makes you more relaxed, more efficient, and more effective. So in this section, you're going to group it good. All right, so in this section, you're simply going to take that one document that you have where you've kind of grouped things, and you're going to start to populate your calendar. I use Google, so there may already be some things in there, like there's standard meetings I have every week. So it's already like 30, 40, 50% done. Then I start to sprinkle in there the new things that I want to do. Maybe I'm going to take a new yoga class, or maybe I'm going to, because of the weather, I'm going to do something different that week that I anticipated by looking at the weather schedule. So you start to refine, clean up, and ideally you're going to work your way backwards, from Sunday backwards, because if you start and you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you run out of time, you may never get to it and prep properly. So start backwards. Reverse engineer your week. Make sure that you start to schedule it in your calendar, in your agenda. I do both, so I can see both. I personally like it that way. And then you're set. If it's not in your schedule, it does not exist. Why? Because you are focusing on the things that are important to you. If you haven't, in an hour and a half, thought about the things that are important to you, they're probably not important to you. So they don't deserve to get into your agenda. So when somebody comes along in the middle of the week and asks you, hey, can you do this? It's going to be really easy for you to be clear and go, no, I can't, but maybe next week, right? And this is where you start to take control of your life. This is where you start to feel confident about the decisions you're making. This is where you start to feel like you're not a person that's hemming and hawing and hesitating all the time. And guess what? People are going to respect that because you know where you're going. So this is a really cool section for you to get your certainty, for you to feel in control of your life, for you to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves at the right time. So after 15 years of doing the Sunday System for Success, I finally decided to create my own agenda/planner/goal-setting book. The reason is this, is I carried around 3 books with me. I had a journal just to write in. I had my agenda, still like the written agenda, even though I use Google Calendar. And I also had my goals with me all the time. So I got fed up and I couldn't find one that had all 3 together. Isn't it nice to have all 3 in one spot? So if you like that concept, then click the link below and get yourself your own book. And that way you can work through the Sunday System for Success. It's got beautiful quotes in it. It's got a place for you to do your gratitude, things you're excited about. And then it's one day at a time where you can write out your daily tasks, and it divides it up nicely into work and into personal. So I love it. The feedback we get on it is phenomenal. If you want to get your own Epic Life Planner, make sure you click the link below and we'll get it to you as soon as we possibly can. All right, have you ever done this where you started your week and then you got somewhere and you were missing something? When I was a real estate agent, I remember going on a listing presentation to put somebody's home on the market, and it was back in the day when technology didn't allow you to do things electronically. You needed the written contract. And I thought that these people would not sign the contract that night. That's usually what we call a 2-stop. And so I went there and they're like, no, we're ready to sign. And I'm like, but I don't have a contract. And they're like, what do you mean you don't have a contract? I go, well, I'll come back tomorrow. And they're like, okay. So about 2 hours later, I get a phone call from them and said, hey, we had another agent come after you and we decided to list with them. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Because I didn't have a contract, I lost a listing, $8,000 commission. Are you kidding? I can never let that happen again. So in the audit part of my Sunday System for Success, I came up with a solution. I took an old briefcase and I put contracts in the trunk of my car so that would never happen again. I did not want to lose $8,000 again. So in this section, we talk about resourcing it. So as you look at each appointment that you have, you scan your brain and you go, what do I need? For golfing, I need my golf equipment. Do I have enough golf balls? Do I have money? Did I book the tee time? For the yoga class, oh, let me get my gym equipment ready, my bag. I'm also going to need my mat. Where is it? Oh, okay. And you start to paint the picture of putting things together. The example I like to use is if you're a parent and you have a child, you probably think sometime, hopefully not last minute, what does my child need this week? Oh, they're playing football on Thursday evening. Got to make sure their equipment's washed and it's ready. Oh, they've got piano lessons on Tuesday night. Make sure that they're practicing and that Mary's going to take her daughter and my daughter and drop them off and I pick them up. So you start to resource things and be prepared. So this section is about literally looking at each one and going, what do I need? What might I need? What could I need? What would be useful? And I'll give you another example is that For many years as a realtor, I did not plan my lunches. And I would get to 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I would be freaking starving. And I didn't have time. So I would have to stop somewhere and get some sort of fast food that wasn't good for me, or stop at a 7-Eleven and cram something in my mouth in the car. And I was not doing my body a favor. So as I started to audit it, I thought if I made 8 salads on Sunday, or whatever you want to eat, and put them in Tupperware and had them ready, I was resourcing myself. I was giving myself access to things that were going to allow me to perform at a higher level. I hope that makes sense. So that's what this section's all about. How can you perform at the higher level? How can you be kind to the little child in you and take care, make sure you have your umbrella and your snacks and your lunch and the things that are going to allow you to be a champion. So in this section, it's about you being good to yourself by planning and preparing to have the resources that will allow you to perform at the highest level. All right, in this section, I'm going to encourage you to get emotional. And that really means that you're going to imagine the emotional experience you want to have. I mean, if you're a lawyer and you're going to present a case in court, you're going to have a certain kind of emotion that you're going to show up in, with maybe focused, maybe directed, maybe even a little bit angry. You might have to act a little bit. And then if you're going to come home and you're a lawyer and you're going to have that same energy and cross-examine your family, might not go so well at dinner. So you want to be able to change and see what part of your character needs to show up. Do you need to be focused? Do you need to be playful? Do you need to be light? Do you want to be present when you drive the kids to school, and maybe be light, put on some good music in the car, dance, in your seat with the kids? So try to imagine what would make your week even more entertaining, fulfilling, and happy for you and the people that you love and the businesses you're building. And maybe in some cases you need to be a curious student and learn from the environment if you're going to go take a class or a course. So different hats you're going to put on, take off, different emotions, practice them, visualize them, see them, and then when you show up for that appointment, even if you've had a really busy day, here's what I found is total recall. You're going to go right into that mode and you're going to perform like a rock star. So the benefits to me that I've experienced by doing the 7 steps of the Sunday System for Success is that I've felt more confident, and so have the people that do it. They've felt more prepared, and therefore they're less stressed out. They're able to say yes to things that really matter to them because they're focusing on the things that matter to them. They're able to say no to the things that are not important, instead of saying these dirty yeses and having to work your way out of it later and say, no, I don't really want to go to the party, I can't. Somebody asks you, do you want to come to the party on Thursday night? And you say, you know what, actually I'd love to, but I'm not going to because I have something scheduled already. I'm building my business, or I'm already scheduled to go, coach the kids' soccer team. So you're not going to apologize for being a badass. Instead, you're going to come across as somebody that knows where the frick they're going, what's important to them, and you can confidently say yes to make things happen at a very high level. There are so many benefits to doing this. What we are told is that 5 to 10 hours every week, on average, people are getting back because they're efficient, they're effective, and they're resourced. Imagine that you have to rush to get something to eat, leave what you're doing, stand in line when everybody else is doing the same thing, how inefficient that is compared to having prepared some nutrition for yourself. All these little tweaks are going to gain you 5 to 10 hours a week. And when you do that, you're going to be able to take that 5 or 10 hours a week and increase the quality of your life. That's why they call me a lifestyle coach, because you get to increase your lifestyle when you follow the systems and processes like the Sunday System for Success. So I want to thank you for being part of this. If you like this video, then go ahead and like it. Comment, give me some feedback on what's working for you, what you like about this process, and then make sure that, of course, you hit, slap, tickle the buzzer so that we know that you are the type of person that is getting access to this information as I continue to pour and mentor you. Because if you want me to mentor you, then you got to make sure that you're going to get the notifications so you can get access to this information. If you like this video, watch the next one. I'm going to continue to pour into you so you can become the next whole life millionaire next door.